At the class reunion, everyone thought I had gone bankrupt. My archenemy had his arm around my wife, drinking a cross-cupped wine with her, then passionately kissing her while boasting that he was now a corporate executive with an annual salary of 10 million, a status I could never hope to reach in my lifetime. I told you before, your power, your status, your woman, they all belong to me now. My wife didn't say a word in my defense, her eyes filled with nothing but disdain for me. I slapped them both across the face. You pair of scumbags aren't even worthy of licking my shoes. At our college reunion, I just returned from the restroom when I saw my wife sharing a ceremonial toast with Simon, her former admirer. Simon wore a sly grin, whispering something in my wife's ear that made her giggle coquettishly while playfully pounding his chest with her fist. A French kiss? How could you even suggest such a thing? What? Adrian's already bankrupt, and you're still afraid he'll get jealous? Who's afraid? Come on, let's make this exciting. That loser does nothing but eat and sleep all day. When has he ever cared about me? Just as Simon was about to kiss my wife, I rushed forward in a flash and punched him in the face, then turned to confront my wife. Patricia, do you have any idea what you're doing? My wife showed not a trace of panic or remorse, instead shooting me a disdainful glare. What's wrong with me? I just lost a game and had to accept a little punishment. Do you really have to make such a big deal out of it? After saying this, my wife anxiously checked on Simon. Are you okay? Does it hurt? Oh no, your nose is bleeding. I'm sorry. Let me apologize for Adrian on his behalf. Just ignore him. He's been acting crazy ever since he went bankrupt, always paranoid about everything. Come on, let's continue. Flirting openly with someone else in front of all our old classmates, cheating on me, and now slandering me, throwing dirt on my name. My blood boiled, and I slapped my wife Patricia across the face. Someone grabbed hold of me. Adrian, don't be angry. We were just playing around. Truth or dare. Patricia lost, so this is all just a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? My eyes aren't blind. Back in college, Simon had been relentlessly pursuing my wife. My wife was the department's beauty queen, always aloof, and she utterly despised Simon. But at this reunion, ever since Patricia learned that Simon had risen from obscurity to become a corporate executive with an annual salary in the millions, the way she looked at him completely changed. Don't stop him. Let him hit. Can't even earn much money, but has quite the temper. Perhaps seeing me being held back by classmates, Patricia became even more brazen and planted a firm kiss on Simon's cheek. Adrian, let me tell you, Simon is richer and better than you, and I like him. What's it to you? Look at how petty and narrow-minded you are. Your heart isn't half as broad as Simon's. You hit him, and he hasn't even said a word about it. Yet here you are making a scene. Have you no shame? Enough is enough. Breaking free from the crowd, I slapped Patricia across the face. Patricia's face jerked to the side from the force of my blow, swelling up almost immediately. Patricia covered her face, her eyes filled with disbelief. Adrian, you actually hit a woman? Are you even a man? I slapped her again with the back of my hand. So what if I hit you? Whether I'm a man or not, you know best. All these years, I've cherished you like the apple of my eye, more than I care for myself. And this is how you repay me. See you at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow. They say married couples are like birds sharing the same tree. When disaster strikes, each flies its own way. Not long ago, my company nearly faced a capital chain rupture. Patricia kept promising to stand by me through thick and thin, and I was genuinely moved. Later, the company not only weathered the crisis, but reached new heights. I had planned to transfer some of my shares to her as a surprise, never expecting she'd give me such an extraordinary gift today. In that case, I won't let her get a single penny. Adrian, you want a divorce, don't you? Fine, let's divorce. Who's afraid of who? The house is mine. Pack your bags and get out tonight, but I won't pay a single cent toward those shady debts of yours. So this was their game all along. I called my lawyer and asked him to draft a divorce agreement that would protect my legal rights to the greatest extent. Simon, who had been at the center of the storm, silently observing the situation, finally began to speak. Adrian, I know your business failed and you're in a bad mood, but there's no need to take it out on Patricia. You're so hot-tempered and moody. Patricia has really suffered being with you. It's like a beautiful flower stuck in a pile of cow dung. With that, Simon took out an exquisitely beautiful necklace from his pocket and placed it around Patricia's neck. Didn't you really like this during our last date? Don't be sad. Someone like him isn't worth it. From now on, I'll take care of you, and I won't let you suffer even the slightest grievance. Patricia, her face streaked with tears, looked at Simon and nodded firmly. Simon smoothly pulled Patricia into his embrace, his large hand stroking her waist back and forth. So they had been carrying on behind my back all along, and today they came deliberately to humiliate me. Truly, a bitch deserves a dog. They're made for each other. With a smug expression, Simon leaned close to me and boasted in a voice barely loud enough for just the two of us to hear. Adrian, I told you long ago that I would take everything from you. Your power, your status, your wealth, and your women. What does it matter if you were once glorious? Now you're nothing but a stinking bug, crushed beneath my heel in the mud. But me? I'm different. I now work at Junsheng Group, the most prestigious company in our city, with an annual salary in the millions. The leadership values me highly, and soon I'll step into high society. As for you, you'll be sleeping under bridges and scavenging through trash before long. After saying this, Simon couldn't help but burst into wild laughter. Working in my company? How come I didn't know about this? As I let out a cold laugh, my fists rained down on Simon like a storm. All these years, I've lived by one principle. If others treat me with respect, I'll return it tenfold. If someone bullies me, I'll pay them back double. An eye for an eye, violence against violence. That's the righteous path. Besides, I'm much taller and stronger than Simon, with years of gym training under my belt. That weakling stood no chance against me. Simon was beaten black and blue, begging on his knees for mercy before my classmates finally pulled me away. Patricia wept pitifully, kneeling beside Simon in a state of panic and helplessness, murmuring repeatedly under her breath, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Only when Simon weakly shook his head did Patricia finally have the energy to lift her head and glare at me with venom. Her eyes burned with fury, as if I were her sworn enemy. "Adrian, divorcing you was the best decision I ever made in my life." I watched Patricia's resolute expression of disdain toward me and silently thanked my company's past financial troubles for revealing this woman's true colors. Apparently, all her previous acts of meek obedience and sweet compliance had been nothing but an act. With a faint smile, I looked down at them condescendingly. "Patricia, trash like you is perfect for Simon. You two deserve each other. Make sure to stay locked together so you don't go contaminating anyone else. However, Simon, your moral failings make you unfit to remain a Junshin. From this moment onward, you're fired." Simon was stunned, but burst into wild laughter the next second, though the exaggerated facial movement made him grimace in pain. "Adrian, you firing me? Who the hell do you think you are? The sun hasn't even set yet. What kind of daydream are you having?" I called my assistant and asked her to notify the HR department. However, it was only then that I realized Simon wasn't an employee at our group headquarters, but rather a department manager at one of our subsidiaries. An annual salary of 10 million? What a joke. At best, $1 million. You'll find out soon enough whether it's true or not, I said calmly, waving my phone. Suddenly, Simon patted his chest with exaggerated seriousness, pretending to be terrified. "Adrian, I'm so scared. I'm really afraid you'll fire me. Except, it's been 5 whole minutes, and I still haven't received that termination call." Some people, even after going bankrupt, still put on a brave face and spout nonsense. "Adrian, do you really think sharing the Zhou surname makes you equal to our headquarters CEO? Firing me? Give me a break." Simon spat a bloody mouthful at me. Watching his arrogant display, I could only shake my head and sigh. A frog in a well knows nothing of the great ocean. Back in college, Simon had always seen me as his imaginary rival. Because I had better grades, won more awards, served as student council president, and even earned my first pot of gold by starting a business in college, garnering admiration and envy from classmates. This made Simon, who came from a rural background and was both insecure and sensitive, resent me at every turn. And when Patricia, the goddess he'd been fawning over for years, married me, it hit him like a ton of bricks. I just never expected that after all these years, he'd gained so little in capability and insight, while his inherent flaws of being blind to reality, arrogant, and domineering had only grown worse. I couldn't be bothered to deal with this kind of person any longer, so I got up to leave. Unexpectedly, Simon grabbed me by the arm. "What's wrong, Adrian? Scared? Can't keep up the act anymore. I'll be the bigger man this once. Crawl between my legs, and we'll consider this matter settled. Otherwise, I'll call the police and charge you with assault. You'll rot in jail." Simon spread his legs triumphantly, his face brimming with confidence. The classmates burst into sporadic bursts of mocking laughter. My thin lips curled coldly as I mustered all my strength and kicked him squarely in the crotch. "Since you clearly don't want this thing, there's no need to keep it." The air was pierced by a scream that could slaughter pigs. Simon was seen clutching himself in agony, hopping around like a headless chicken. Finally, Simon collapsed to the ground, his face pale, with large beads of sweat rolling down his forehead. Even a hand pointing at me trembled uncontrollably. You. I walked away without looking back, but Simon mustered all his strength to stagger to his feet and clumsily blocked the entire doorway of the private room. "Trying to run? No way," he spat. "You hurt me. Pay for my medical expenses and emotional damages. 5 million. Plus today's meal cost 20 grand. You think you're worthy of me treating you? Ridiculous. I have to pay for my own meal in my own club." I snorted coldly. I'm afraid I'd dare to give it, but they wouldn't dare take it. Simon widened his eyes, looking at me as if I were an idiot. "Adrian, if I'm not mistaken, are you saying this club belongs to you?" I nodded. This time you finally got it right. "Come on, everyone. Take a look at our old classmate here. Still thinks he's the high and mighty CEO from before, huh? Your company went bankrupt, got acquired. You think people don't know? Still putting on airs like some big shot. Adrian, why are you so fake? Is it really that hard for you to face reality and stop acting so full of yourself?" "Patricia, I told you long ago, Adrian's just a toad at the bottom of a well. How could he ever deserve a pure, flawless swan like you? Thank goodness you were smart enough to cut ties with him early, or he'd have dragged you down with him. I don't know where they heard the news, but the spread of misinformation is truly terrifying." However, hearing Simon say this, Patricia lifted her head proudly like a peacock displaying its feathers. Her gaze towards me filled with even more disdain and mockery. Adrian, you disgust me. Do you think pretending to be something you're not, bragging about things that don't belong to you with wild exaggerations, will make me change my mind? No, you're wrong. It will only make me despise you even more and make everyone look down on you further. Considering our past as husband and wife, I'm kindly advising you to kneel and apologize to Simon. Beg for his mercy. Otherwise, don't even think about surviving in this industry. Oh, planning to blacklist me across the entire industry? Ridiculous. I immediately summoned the manager and had my meal comped. The rest, charge this gentleman. Simon wants to show off by treating everyone, so let him do just that. After all, this money will eventually end up in my pocket. The manager hesitated as he looked at me. Sir, this is an exclusive private club where our clientele are all wealthy or distinguished, but we've never had a precedent for complimentary service. Oh, so you're new here. It's normal not to recognize me. Then call your general manager here. As soon as I finished speaking, I saw Simon start clapping. Adrian, got your pretentious ass handed to you, huh? You're literally the most shameless, thick-skinned person I've ever met. Back in college when your startup made money, you were just riding the wave of the times. Even pigs could fly during that boom. What? Still clinging to the delusion that luck will favor you forever. Dream on. Simon kept jabbing his finger into my chest, humiliating me with each poke. He spoke with impassioned fervor, spittle flying, his entire face flushed red. My classmates pointed at me, whispering and shaking their heads in dismay. Ah, how did Adrian end up like this? But the next second, I had Simon's entire face pressed into the soup tureen on the sideboard by the door. If your mouth isn't clean, go wash it. If you're blind, go get proper treatment at the hospital. Someone like you dares to challenge me. Simon struggled out of the soup, his face covered in vegetable leaves and broth, looking utterly disheveled. Manager, call your security and the boss over here. Adrian, you just wait. I'll show you what despair tastes like in a moment. I leisurely sat down, took a sip of tea unhurriedly, and casually replied, Oh, really? Adrian, don't get cocky. You dare to make a bet with me? I set down my teacup. What's the bet? You've been bragging that this club is yours, right? If it's not, you'll kneel and kowtow to admit your mistake, call me grandpa, and post it on your social media. He's practically begging for trouble. Doesn't he realize he's lifting a rock only to drop it on his own foot? I smiled faintly, looking at Simon. And if you lose? I won't lose. With my annual salary of $10 million, I barely qualified for membership at this club. Even the most luxurious private room for this gathering. I had to call in quite a few favors just to reserve it. I wiped the smile off my face. Then let's add one more rule. Whoever loses has to run 3 laps around the clubhouse naked. Deal. No sooner had the bet been made than the manager walked in with the boss. Boss, it's him. He's trying to skip out on the bill and eat for free. Boss, we must report this to the police. Otherwise, if word gets out, it will greatly damage our club's reputation. The manager stood respectfully to the side, cautiously testing the waters. The boss saw me and slightly straightened up, questioning the manager. Are you saying he ate without paying? The manager, not understanding the situation, nodded emphatically. Simon looked smug. So you're the owner of this club? They say customers are gods here, but your service doesn't seem all that great. Forget it. I'm a cultured, educated person. I won't stoop to your level today, but you'd better deal with this guy for me. Today's our class reunion. The bill comes to $200,000. I'll pay $180,000, and you can get the remaining $20,000 from him. But let me warn you, he's a penniless loser. Whether he has to sell blood, donate a kidney, wash dishes here, or even sell himself for a loan, that's none of my concern. Simon pointed at me, a triumphant smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. The mockery was practically dripping from his words. It was as if he was saying, let's see how long you can keep up this act. Patricia shook her head and sighed, adopting a tone of earnest concern. Adrian, creditors call you every single day. Do you really think I don't know your situation? Stop clinging to your pride and suffering for it. Quit pretending to be some big shot, will you? If you're willing to kneel and apologize to Simon now, there's still time to make things right. Turns out, when the lawyer called me a few days ago to discuss the equity transfer, I wanted to surprise her, so I deliberately avoided her, only for her to mistake it as debt collectors pressuring me. Simon held Patricia's hand. Patricia, let it go. You can't save those who refuse to be saved. Your kindness and generosity are wasted on some people. But the next second, an ear-splitting slap shattered the air. The manager was slapped hard by the boss. You damn fool, are you blind? You don't even recognize the big boss. If you want to die, don't drag me down with you. Get out. Go to the finance department right now to collect your pay and leave. At the same moment, the manager, Simon, and Patricia all spoke in unison. He's the boss. This can't be possible, especially Simon, who stared at me in shock, his mouth hanging open wide enough to fit half an egg, unable to utter another word for the longest time. The manager knelt on the ground, clutching my leg, begging incessantly while slapping himself. I'm sorry, I failed to recognize your eminence. Please be merciful and give me a chance to turn over a new leaf. My whole family depends on me to make a living. I can't afford to lose this job. The boss kicked the manager away. Keep whining and you won't even get your salary. The manager was scared out of his wits and fled in panic. Simon still refused to give up until he hit the wall, turning to the boss. Are you mistaken? That Adrian is just a worthless, lying, poor bastard. How could he possibly be the big boss of your club? Don't let him fool you. Patricia also chimed in. Exactly, he's my husband. How could I not know about this identity of his? Are you just an actor he hired? I always have been. It's just that very few people knew. Those who come here are either wealthy or influential, where even deals worth billions are negotiated, so everyone places utmost importance on privacy and security. If not for today's pressing circumstances, I wouldn't have revealed my identity. Simon wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and tried to continue making excuses, but the boss slapped him across the face. Who do you think you are, daring to insult our boss? Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, the boss bowed deeply to me. You've arrived. Why didn't you say anything? It's my fault for not managing my subordinates well, causing you trouble. This won't happen again. I waved my hand at him. It was just a small gathering of classmates. I didn't expect some minor incidents, but it's not your fault. I glanced at Simon and Patricia, who stood frozen like wooden chickens, and smiled faintly. Simon, it's time for you to keep your promise. Simon's face turned ashen, yet he remained rooted to the spot, unmoving. Patricia was the first to object, shielding Simon. Adrian, don't you dare go too far. I gestured to the security guards. Since Mr. Chun is so stubborn, why don't you give him a hand? With a thud, Simon was kicked to the ground, half kneeling. Adrian, I never expected you to be this kind of person, repaying kindness with enmity, nitpicking over every penny. I bent down and patted Simon's face repeatedly. What's the matter, big man? Your words mean nothing. I asked the waiter to bring the POS machine. Old classmate, didn't you say you were treating today? 200,000. Not a single cent less, okay. You. Simon choked with rage. I watched Simon's pained expression and sneered. What's the matter? With your 10 million annual salary, can't you even afford this small amount? Simon stiffened his neck defensively. It was agreed this reunion would be Dutch treat. 10 of us splitting the bill means 20,000 each. Why should I pay alone? What a scoundrel. Then again, a deputy department manager with an annual salary barely reaching $1 million would naturally balk at shelling out 200 grand. But when the classmates heard this, they immediately protested, complaining loudly and pointing fingers at Simon. Simon, you were the one who invited us here. I actually had another dinner appointment today, but I ordered these dishes because you said you'd treat us. I have kids at home who need looking after, but you insisted I come. That's right. Simon, who valued his reputation above all else, suddenly found himself the target of everyone's accusations. Unable to bear the humiliation, he hesitated for a long time before reluctantly pulling out his wallet. Security, strip him naked and throw him in the trash. Trash belongs with trash. Simon was absolutely unwilling to streak naked. But did they really think I'd let this go? Watching Simon shivering in the trash can, wearing nothing but red underwear with his hands clutching his head, I drove off in my luxury car, humming a tune without a care in the world. Adrian, you bastard, just you wait. I'll kill you one day, mark my words. Simon, furious and humiliated, spewed curses in a fit of rage. Patricia, dressed in a sexy and beautiful dress, stood far away, covering her nose, too afraid to step forward. Their supposedly unbreakable love was nothing more than this. Back then, there was no cooling-off period for divorce. In front of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Simon stepped out of his BMW, swaggered over to put his arm around Patricia, and then pointed at me while spewing insults. Adrian, you almost had me fooled. Luckily, I had someone investigate yesterday. You're not even the legal owner of that private club. You really went all out to save face. So tell me, how much did you pay the owner to play along with this charade? Charade? They're the ones putting on a show. Last night, I had my assistant specifically pull up Simon's background information from the subsidiary company, where the words married were clearly written in black and white. Darling, hurry back. I can't wait to marry you. Simon deliberately planted a loud kiss on Patricia's cheek, flaunting it right in front of me. Trying to provoke me? Drama queen, you're overthinking it. A scumbag and a bitch, truly a match made in heaven. I can't wait for them to be locked together forever. Right after getting the divorce certificate, Patricia immediately took a photo of it and posted it on her social media. Back then, I was too young to tell the difference between a man and a dog. But everything was worth it, because the best is always waiting for you in the end. My dear, as long as I can be by your side, nothing else matters. I shook my phone and said to Patricia with a smile, 3 days apart, and you've truly become unrecognizable. Even being someone's mistress is justified so self-righteously. Patricia snorted coldly, unfazed. Adrian, don't think I can't see through your attempts to sow discord. What? Regretting divorcing me now? Don't try reverse psychology or clingy tactics. I won't fall for that crap. So what if I'm the other woman? Simon earns tens of millions a year as a corporate executive. So young and accomplished, with boundless prospects. And you? You'll just be running from debt collectors through the streets like a sewer rat, never seeing the light of day again. You'd better start praying for yourself and figure out your own future. Otherwise, you might end up sold to northern Myanmar, getting your organs harvested, limbs chopped off, won't even have a grave to cry over. Simon pulled Patricia close, shooting me a look full of provocation. Patricia, don't worry. I'll treat you right from now on, never letting you suffer any hardship. I have no feelings left for that shrew. Just give me some time, and I'll definitely divorce her to make you happy. Oh, and I've got more good news for you. This morning I closed another big deal with a commission of 3 to 400,000. In a few days, I'll buy you a car. You'll never have to suffer like you did with that useless loser. Patricia looked smug, nestling against Simon like a delicate bird. Not only did she kiss him, but she also clung to his arm, showering him with coquettish affection. Thank you, darling. You're the best to me. Huh? Simon is ugly and creepy looking. Patricia used to complain to me every day about how ugly people cause the most trouble. Now, for money, she's really willing to lower her standards. Money truly makes the impossible possible. But a commission of 3 to 400,000 must be kickbacks. Adrian, the meeting is about to start. As they spoke, a Rolls-Royce Cullinan pulled up by the roadside, and the assistant stepped out in a smart professional skirt suit. She was poised, efficient, and undeniably attractive and sexy. She respectfully opened the car door for me. Just as I was about to sit in the back seat, Patricia stormed over furiously, ready to slap me. Adrian, how dare you? You actually found a mistress and cheated on me. No way. You have to compensate me for my emotional distress and wasted youth. $1 million. Before marriage, Patricia, to reinforce her image as someone deeply affectionate and not materialistic, proactively proposed a prenuptial agreement stating she wouldn't take a single penny from me if we divorced. She'd leave with nothing. Now, she's demanding breakup compensation instead. But before I could even speak, Patricia was slapped hard across the face by the assistant. You hit me? The assistant slapped her again. Slandering the CEO's reputation deserves a beating. If you keep making a scene and harassing us, Zhou Corporation's entire legal department will be waiting for you. Simon suddenly burst into laughter. The entire legal department? Adrian, you're truly possessed by drama, lying through your teeth without batting an eye. Simon said while viciously kicking the tire of my car. This Rolls-Royce Cullinan is rented too, isn't it? $1,000 a day? You can't even afford meals, yet you're renting cars. What a pitiful attempt to keep up appearances. Out of respect for our old school ties, I'll give you some money so you can afford instant noodles and pickled vegetables. Simon pulled out a stack of crisp new bills from his wallet and showered them down on me. Pick it up. Why aren't you picking it up? Puffed. You even specially found a pretty girl to put on this act with us. What's the matter, sweetheart? I'll give you 2,000. Want to sleep with me? Simon had barely finished laughing when my assistant kicked him half a meter away. Must be tired of living, asking for death like that. I turned my head and instructed my assistant. People with no manners or upbringing deserve a good lesson. Just don't kill anyone. My assistant was a Taekwondo master. Dealing with Simon, that scrawny mutt, would be a piece of cake. 5 minutes later, Simon's already bruised and swollen face became even more gruesome. He knelt on the ground, raising his hands in surrender. Patricia twisted his ear, pouting in feigned anger. Simon, what did you mean just now when you said you wanted to sleep with other women? Ow, darling, I was joking. After placating Patricia, Simon staggered to his feet and spat a mouthful of blood in my direction with a vicious glare. Adrian, hiding behind women, what kind of man are you? And what? Weren't you going to fire me? Not only wasn't I fired, but I'm also going to attend the annual company meeting to receive an award. Once I get my year-end bonus, I'll buy 1 billion hell notes and burn them at your doorstep. Let you taste the joy of being rich too. The assistant slapped Simon to the ground, shutting him up for good. In the car, I sat in the back seat and instructed my assistant, Chu Fei, go check if Simon is on the invitation list for the company's annual meeting next week. Chu Fei kept her eyes on the road while driving. Adrian's meaning is not to let him participate. No, let him come. Also notify everyone that family members are allowed to attend this year. The assistant nodded, then asked doubtfully, aren't we firing him? Firing him would be too easy. Making his life a living hell, that's my real goal. Have you finished gathering the intel I asked for? It's almost done. Good. Very good. Patricia is so vain and eager to prove her status that she'll definitely find a way to attend the annual meeting. Simon, you'd better not let me down. I look forward to reuniting with you all. I wonder how you'll feel when you realize the person you've been humiliating and bullying is someone you could never hope to reach in this lifetime. Sure enough, Patricia didn't disappoint me at the company annual gala a week later. Today, Patricia had clearly dressed up deliberately, her hair styled in seductive voluminous waves, lips painted fiery red. She wore a high-slit backless dress that exposed nearly her entire back down to the waistline, completely bare to the air. Only the flimsy fabric at the front covered the crucial areas. I heard the CEO of Zhou Corporation will be attending today. He's young, handsome, and most importantly, filthy rich. Too bad I couldn't find any photos of him online after searching forever. Whatever, he's going to be mine. Huh, so she's just using Simon as a stepping stone to try to seduce me? Patricia, what are you muttering to yourself about over here? Simon walked over from not far away, took Patricia's arm, and kissed her hair. Patricia nestled into Simon's embrace. Nothing, just thinking that after leaving that poor bastard Adrian, things will only get better for us too. Absolutely. But baby, you look absolutely stunning today. After the annual meeting, I'm going to take good care of you. Only after Simon and Patricia had left did I step out from the shadows and give instructions to my assistant. Send someone to deliver a dress to Simon's wife and make sure she attends. How could such an important occasion be complete without the official wife? The moment I stepped inside, I saw Patricia clinging to Simon's arm, chatting animatedly with others. Her proud and triumphant expression made it seem as if she had already ascended into high society. As she turned sideways holding her red wine, she accidentally caught sight of me, and her entire face immediately darkened as she stormed toward me. Adrian, how'd you get here? Without an invitation. How did you even get in? I remained composed. Of course I walked in. Adrian, you're like a haunting ghost. Actually stalking me now? Hoping to get back together. Patricia stepped closer, shooting me 2 disdainful glances. I warn you, I never go back to my exes. Get the hell out of here right now. Today is the annual Zhou Group Gala. Only outstanding employees like my husband who are being honored, along with company executives, are qualified to attend. How dare a debt-ridden loser like you stand here? As she spoke, Simon walked over and casually wrapped his arm around Patricia's waist, deliberately stroking her back. Oh, darling, who do we have here? Just a penniless beggar sneaking in for free food and drinks. But Adrian, I seem to recall you used to work at Zhou Group, until you were kicked out, that is. Seeing such a grand company gala you're no longer qualified to attend must sting, doesn't it? Some people are just born with a poor and wretched fate. Just because they put on a suit, they think they're elite. If I were you, I'd get the hell out of here before you catch the eye of someone important and get thrown out by security. At this moment, I found Simon quite pitiful. What ability did he actually possess to land the position of department head? Was it blindness, willful ignorance, or just empty boasting? I stared at Simon, enunciating each word deliberately. If I don't show up, do they dare start this alumni reunion? Suddenly, Simon burst into loud laughter. Adrian, it's broad daylight. What kind of pipe dream are you having now? You're such a great actor, you really should become one. If I were an Oscar committee member, I'd award you 2 little golden statues. Simon deliberately raised his voice a notch, drawing the attention of many who began crowding around me, including a few imposing men in their 30s and 40s. Patricia looked disdainful and warned in a low voice. Adrian, your shamelessness and brazenness have truly shattered my perception and bottom line. I advise you to leave now and not ruin my plans. Xiao Chun, what's all this commotion about? Simon bowed respectfully. President Su, President Zhang, this is just my friend's ex-husband. He's never been capable of much, and after the divorce, he couldn't even afford meals, so he came to our company to freeload. Now I finally understand how Simon climbed to the position of supervisor. Turns out it was all thanks to his gift of gab, opening and closing his mouth to spout nonsense and flatter his way up. Honestly, any stray cat or dog can just wander in these days. It's lowering the standard of our annual gala. I'll have to report this to the CEO's assistant later. We need tighter security at the venue. All right, hurry up and have someone kick him out. Don't wait until Adrian arrives and spoils the mood. Come on, let's go quickly to welcome the CEO at the entrance. Don't be late, or he might blame us for free. From start to finish, those department managers didn't even spare me a glance. Indeed, in this era of fawning over the powerful and trampling on the weak, who would pay attention to an ant by the roadside? Of course, it was understandable that they didn't recognize me. After all, Zhou Corporation's business spans numerous industries, with subsidiaries numbering in the dozens, if not hundreds across the country. Daily work reports don't come directly to me either. Yes, of course, Simon fawned as he watched the men leave, then turned back to me with even more disdain and mockery. Adrian, you heard them. I'm giving you one last chance to get lost on your own. Otherwise, don't blame me for calling security to break your legs. Patricia glared at me with fiery hatred. Adrian, get the hell out of here. Don't squat here like a disgusting toad. If you upset the group president and ruin Simon's future, I won't let you off. Not only did I refuse to leave, I sat down in the president's chair. You think you're worthy of making me leave? Simon turned pale with shock and rushed to pull me up. Are you out of your mind? This is our Adrian's seat. How dare you sit here? Security, someone come here, break the legs of this arrogant, self-righteous trash, and throw him out to feed the dogs. Patricia gazed at Simon with admiration. Honey, you're so dashing. When your CEO arrives and finds out you've cleaned up the trash at the venue, he'll definitely praise you. At that moment, my assistant arrived with several bodyguards in tow. Let's see who dares. Simon snorted coldly. It's you again, you damn whore. Which production crew hired you as an actress? Can't stop acting, can you? How much did Adrian pay you? I'll double it. As he spoke, Simon took out his phone, ready to transfer the money directly via WeChat. But before he could even pull up the QR scanner, his assistant slapped him so hard he staggered and fell to the ground. You filthy bitch! How dare you hit me? Who gave you the nerve? I'm warning you. I was personally invited by our group CEO to attend this meeting. He's going to reward me and promote me. Who the hell do you think you are? When I rise to power, you'll be the first one to regret this. The assistant sneered twice. You think you're worthy. Blinded by a single leaf, a fox masquerading as a tiger's might. If I hadn't notified you, do you really think you could have stepped through the doors of this banquet hall? Simon's eyes darted around as he quickly calculated. Damn, you almost fooled me. The person who called me was a man. Don't flatter yourself by taking credit. The assistant was about to confront him, but I stopped her. Call Ling and inform everyone that the annual meeting has been moved up by an hour. While the assistant was making the call, Simon pointed at me and burst into hysterical laughter. Everyone take a look. Here's a useless drama queen who's addicted to acting. Not only did he crash the party to freeload, but he also pretended to be a CEO and interfered with the company's annual meeting agenda. Who doesn't know the annual meeting schedule has been fixed for years without change? And you, a piece of trash, think you can change it just by flapping your lips? Though I must admit, I admire your thick skin. Have you been rehearsing this scene in front of a mirror countless times since your company went bankrupt? Did you really think you're the king of the world, who can command everyone's obedience? Today, I'm going to let you experience what it feels like to fall from the clouds straight into the mud. Patricia's face twisted with anger as she grabbed my arm and tried to drag me outside. Adrian, I must have been blind in the past to have fallen for a braggart like you who doesn't know his own limits. So what if your company went bankrupt? Look at you now, completely delusional, acting like you own the world. You've gone mad. Get the hell out of here right now. If you drag our Simon into your mess, there'll be trouble. The crazy ones aren't me, it's them. But before Patricia could get close to me, the assistant slapped her to the ground. You? How dare you lay a hand on Adrian? Patricia slumped on the floor. Hopeless, utterly foolish. Just wait until the company's directors and CEO arrive. You'll be dead meat. Simon hurriedly helped Patricia up. Patricia, are you alright? Patricia held back her tears with great effort, shaking her head as she whispered. I'm sorry. It's all my fault for marrying such a madman before. Will he affect your promotion? Simon gently wiped away the tears at the corner of Patricia's eye. Him? He's not even worthy. Adrian, didn't you say the reunion was moved up by an hour? It's been 30 minutes now. Why hasn't anyone else arrived yet? Were you just talking about firing me? Well, here I am, standing perfectly fine without receiving any notice at all. Considering our past as classmates, if you leave now, I might still be able to plead with the CEO to overlook this matter for you. But if you insist on being stubborn, I imagine your heroic deeds will be all over our class group chat and local news by tomorrow. Don't come crying when your reputation is ruined and you become a laughingstock. I glanced at my watch. You've got 20 more minutes to keep running your mouth. The reason Zhou Corporation has grown so rapidly over the past 2 years, rising to become the financial titan of City A, is precisely due to its strict time management system and humane reward-punishment measures. Ha ha, Adrian, you're still pretending even at death's door. Utterly ridiculous and foolish. No sooner had Simon finished speaking than the banquet hall doors slowly swung open. Assistant Ling entered at the head of a grand procession. The vice president of headquarters followed by presidents of various subsidiaries, totaling nearly 50 people in all. Boss, you finally arrived. Simon spotted the top executive of their company and hurried over with quick steps. You wouldn't believe it, but a fly got in here and disrupted the order of the venue. I've been trying to shoo it away for ages, but it just won't leave. Get someone to remove it immediately. Jiang Feng, Simon's boss, looked furious. Who dares to be this bold? Him. I leaned back in a chair of the head seat and gave Jiang Feng a faint smile. Simon, seeing my silence, straightened his back even more. Adrian, what's wrong? Scared. My boss is here. Let's see how you keep up the act now. Boss, hurry up and get him out of here. Don't let him disrupt the annual meeting. But the next second, Simon was slapped hard by Jiang Feng. Covering his face in shock, Simon asked, Boss, why did you hit me? Jiang Feng said with trepidation, Simon, if you want to die, don't drag me into it, okay? Do you even know who he is? The president's name. How dare you address him so casually? Cleaning up? I think it's you who needs to be cleaned up. Simon was dumbstruck, forcing out a smile uglier than a grimace. Boss, are you saying he's the CEO? Haha, how is that possible? I've investigated him thoroughly. He's just a worthless loser, a complete pushover. Yet, the company executives all stared at Simon as if he were an idiot. The more Simon spoke, the less confident he became, until his voice faded to a whisper. Slap. Jiang Feng struck Simon again, sending him crashing to the ground with blood trickling from his mouth. I'm sorry, President. It's my fault for failing to manage my subordinate properly and causing you distress. Please give me another chance. I promise it won't happen again. Jiang Feng bowed deeply to me. I waved my hand dismissively. No matter. Just now, your subordinate claimed I was pretending, putting on an act, that I'm unworthy of this position, arrogant and conceited. He even threatened to have my legs broken and throw me out of the banquet hall. Jiang Feng glared fiercely at Simon, enunciating each word. Did you say that? You've got some nerve, daring to offend the CEO. Get on your knees and apologize to the CEO. Simon was completely dumbfounded, continuously muttering to himself. How is this possible? There must be some mistake. Jiang Feng was furious and kicked him to the ground. Simon collapsed weakly, staring at me with dazed, unfocused eyes, mumbling foolishly. You're Adrian, the CEO of Zhou Corporation? This can't be possible. Didn't your company go bankrupt? So that club is yours too? But I investigated. Your name isn't listed as the legal representative or among the shareholders. You don't know because you're not qualified enough. I smiled faintly, speaking in a relaxed and calm tone. I've said it before. I'm the most qualified person to sit in this position. You just didn't believe me. Shut the hell up. Jiang Feng slapped Simon twice more. Adrian, I'm sorry. It's my fault for mismanaging the company and allowing such scum to exist here. I'll resign to take responsibility. I nodded slightly, signaling my approval. A man like Simon, who uses the Zhou Group's name to bully others while hiding behind his prestige, is certainly not the first of his kind. If we don't make an example of him today, they'll only grow more brazen in the future. I waved at my assistant, Chu Fei, who then threw a stack of documents in front of Simon. Simon, you've taken kickbacks, embezzled company funds, and committed financial crimes. We've already reported you to the police. Oh, how is this possible? Patricia finally snapped out of her daze, her eyes widening like copper bells, filled with disbelief. Adrian, are you really the CEO of Zhou Corporation? Hearing Patricia speak, Simon's gaze gradually focused. He picked up the documents from the floor, staggered to his feet, and walked over to Patricia, slapping her twice with brutal force. You damn bitch, you've ruined me. You didn't even know your own husband's true identity. I'll kill you. Simon seemed to have gone mad. Like a beast breaking free from its cage, his eyes bloodshot as he tightly choked Patricia's neck. Why, blame me, you beast. Patricia struggled with her hands, but she was no match for Simon. Her face turned from red-white to blue-purple. How beautiful it looked. I looked into Patricia's eyes, filled with pleading, remorse, and despair. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Who else is there to blame? Originally, she could have been the esteemed Mrs. Zhou, living a life of luxury and financial freedom. But she was precisely the type to despise poverty and worship wealth, chasing after thrills. Reaping what she sowed was only to be expected. As Patricia lay dying, the police arrived, handcuffing Simon and leading him away. Yes, I had my assistant call the police. Adrian, you just wait. When I get out, I'll still be a real man. Then, it'll be your death day. Oh great, another charge for provoking trouble. As for Patricia, she was also kicked out of the banquet hall. The company annual party proceeded as usual. For me, this was the most unforgettable annual party I'd ever experienced. After the party ended, as I was driving away, Patricia recklessly threw herself in front of my car. The car screeched to a halt as she frantically pounded on the windows. I slowly rolled down the car window and said indifferently, Miss Sue, is there something you need? You wouldn't believe it until you see it, and seeing it would shock you. Someone had beaten her up. Her entire face was swollen like a pig's head, with not a trace left of her usual pretty features. Adrian, I'm sorry. At the class reunion that day, I lost my mind for a moment. All these years, I've actually loved you. Please don't hold a grudge against someone as insignificant as me. Forgive me, won't you? Look, I've already been beaten up by Simon's wife like this. Consider it a lesson learned. Can't you give me another chance? Let's start over. Okay. You said it yourself. No matter what happens between us or what misunderstandings arise, we should never let them linger overnight. We must resolve everything the same day. Have you forgotten that? I had indeed said those words. When I loved her, treating her like a little princess, holding her in my palms afraid she might fall, cradling her in my mouth afraid she might melt. But what did she do? She betrayed our marriage, meddled in another family, knowingly became the other woman, and deliberately humiliated me, trampling my dignity underfoot. Now, all of this is nothing but the consequences of her own actions. I took off my headphones and smiled at Patricia. What did you just say? I didn't hear you, but if you're sick, you should go to the hospital. Persistently clinging to me like this, what's the point? Between us, didn't it end long ago? Patricia froze, tears rolling down her cheeks in large drops. The salt in her tears must have stung her wounds, making her grimace in pain. Yet she endured it with extreme restraint, not daring to lash out. Adrian, don't you bear any responsibility for us ending up like this? Your company clearly overcame its crisis, even grew into a financial giant. Why did you deliberately hide it from me? Why didn't you tell me? Or were you afraid I'd claim a share of your wealth? From the very beginning, you never truly trusted me. You're the hypocrite preaching benevolence and morality while hiding your true nature. I opened the car door and kicked her to the ground. Didn't I tell you? Haven't I told you before? When I said the club was mine, did you believe me? When I said I was the CEO of Zhou Corporation, did you believe me? But whatever Simon said, you believed him without hesitation, without even thinking. Because he's a corporate executive with an annual salary of millions, while I went bankrupt. In your eyes, from beginning to end, it's always been about money. Now that you know my true identity, you regret it and even come here to twist the facts. Have you no shame? From now on, get the hell away from me and don't ever come back to discuss me again, or I'll beat you every time I see you. Still want a share of my money? I'd rather donate every penny than give you a single cent. But I'm pregnant. Over a month along, Patricia wept pitifully. For the sake of the child, can't you forgive me just this once? Would you really let him be born without a father? My brain completely froze. I haven't touched you in 3 fucking months. What's this? Putting horns on me wasn't enough. Now you want me to raise another man's bastard? Go find whoever knocked you up, or get rid of it. That bastard doesn't deserve to live. And you, a gold-digging, morally bankrupt woman like you doesn't deserve to be a mother either. Patricia's eyes suddenly gleamed with a spark of light. You mean as long as I get rid of it, you'll forgive me, and we can start over, right? I snorted coldly. You really should get your head checked at a mental hospital. With that, I got into the car without looking back. The car slowly moved forward. The rearview mirror reflecting Patricia's disheveled figure collapsed on the ground, wailing uncontrollably. Crocodile tears? Try to win sympathy. Keep dreaming. From this moment onward, Patricia and I would become parallel lines that never intersect again. I believe that with her out of my life, my days will only get better. I heard about Patricia again on the TV news. She was arrested for allegedly engaging in prostitution during a live stream. After my former mother-in-law and brother-in-law found out my company hadn't gone bankrupt, they came to make trouble several times. But I drove them out each time, and after being detained by the police multiple times, they no longer dared to harass me. A misunderstanding? Suddenly, the brother-in-law took charge of contacting the top donors from the live streams, arranging for Patricia to provide offline prostitution services to earn money. Patricia was naturally unwilling. But after Simon was sentenced and her once happy family fell apart, his wife couldn't bear it, had a mental breakdown, developed bipolar disorder with depressive and manic episodes, and harbored even deeper resentment toward Patricia. In her rage, she personally caused Patricia to miscarry. Patricia's baby was already fully formed. Because it was late term and the incident happened suddenly, the uterine hemorrhage couldn't be stopped, forcing doctors to perform a hysterectomy. When Shu Fei reported this to me, the corners of my mouth unconsciously curled into a deeply satisfied smile. Now my brother-in-law had even more reason to say Patricia was blind to let go of a cash cow like me. Otherwise their Su family would have already risen to prominence and lived the high life. So my brother-in-law used the excuse that Patricia no longer had a uterus and couldn't get pregnant to force her to take on more clients to pay off his debts. In the end, Patricia encountered a pervert who enjoyed using all kinds of tools and left her covered in bruises. The worst part was, the guy refused to pay. Furious, Patricia reported him for rape, insisting on standing up for women's rights. I closed the notebook and dug at my ear. Don't tell me about things like this in the future. It's filthy and ruins the mood. Yes, but Adrian, we just closed a $10 billion deal. Shouldn't we celebrate? I nodded. Indeed, your bonus this month, double it. Late at night, I sat by the 270-degree floor-to-ceiling window in my bathrobe, gazing at the city's nightscape below. Beautiful, yet lonely at the top. The crimson glow from the cigarette, but flickered in the darkness. Suddenly, a seductive and voluptuous figure coiled around me from behind. The end.